stand, our honorary starter tonight, representing TSI in Trantolo and Trantolo, Crystal McLeod. So Crystal McLeod is on the starter stand, and she will bring this field up to speed.
Before we go there, let's go to Joe Koss. He's been working hard in the paddock area on pit road. Joe, what are the side stories going into tonight's TSI 125?
Well, it may not be as much of a side story as it is the main story. Doug Coby, certainly the car that everybody is going to have to try to beat tonight. But this 125-lap distance runs very different than the Napa Spring Sizzler did just about a month ago at 200 laps. Now, these cars can pit for 2 tires if they so desire. But really, Doug Coby is being the man to beat, and most likely the guy that's going to lead the early stages of this event. He's going to be the guy that should have the ability to hold all the cards. You can go 125 laps, but some have said if there's a caution around lap 30 or lap 40, you come down and get tires, that could still be a winning strategy. So we'll see what happens in the early stages of the event, but a lot of it's going to be dependent on what the race leader does early on throughout the first 40 or 50 laps of the TSI 125.
So we are getting ready for 125 laps of fireworks as the cars go into turn number 3. This tour started in 1985, and this man who has been there from the beginning, bringing you all the starts of the Whelan Modified Tour, and he is with us again tonight, the voice of the Stafford Motor Speedway, Ben Dodge.
They rumble off turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. The ground is about to shake because we are racing Whelan Modified Tour style to the bottom of turn 1. Doug Coby wastes no time at all. Donnie Leah is there. All of a sudden, here comes Rowan Pennick. Pennick, like he was shot out of a cannon, moves quickly into 3rd.
And Jimmy Blewett holding his own in 4th as he is trying to protect his spot against Eric Goodale. And first on the inside is Chase Dowling.
Chase Dowling might be a surprise to some, but Woody Pitcat was among the quickest cars in practice. Pitcat moves into the top 6. Car number 85, purple car, making its presence known in the upper groove. Back off turn number 4, a little bit further back, they're still doubled up. Matt Nolan is giving up an inch. You would know it, we're only 2 laps in. They're running like it's the final lap of 125.
And Bobby Santos was able to pull away from Brendan Bach. It looked like Bach was going to be right there. And speaking of being right there, look at Goodale has changed his lane, trying to change his look, and he burrows underneath Jimmy Blewett.
He certainly does with a move that puts him into the 4th spot. But all that's been happening a little further back in the field. Here comes, well, in his car number 16, we know how strong that car can be, Timmy Salamito. He's already tasted the sweets of victory on one occasion this season, and who's right there with him? Justin Bonsignor. The M3 machine is making its presence known as well, but as we head down into turn number 3, it's still Doug Coby, the leader of the pack. Meanwhile, look at Donnie Leah, right there on his back bumper. Manufacturers have been the story this season on the Whelan Modified Tour for chassis, and the LMR cars currently run 1-2, with the homemade race cars setting in the 3rd position. Then behind them, it's a pack of 4, will make it 3 Troyer chassis race cars.
Woody Pitcat is off to a pretty good start in car number 85. He is currently in 6th, and he is penciling the half bumper with the Jimmy Blewett car. Chase Dowling right behind Pitcat, and Bobby Santos has had so much frustration this season in car number 44. He is hanging out in 9th place.
He certainly is, and he isn't far out of this one by any stretch of the imagination here. Work still continues further back in the field as they continue to start to settle in the competition here. Meanwhile, back towards the front, Chase Dowling is now being hunted down by Santos. There's Woody tapping on the back bumper of Jimmy Blewett. They come off the turn, and Woody sees a little daylight to the inside, then pulls it back into line.
A great move that just was pulled off by Ron Silk as he was able to catapult his way underneath Rob Summers. So Ron Silk was great 3 weeks ago, and it looks like he has brought a good car with him tonight.
It certainly is, and Silk is a very patient driver at times when he needs to be in the early laps of this event. Down the back straightaway, leader still remains car number 2 for Donnie Leah. Right there in his back bumper, Coby is the leader, and right there in the 3rd spot is Rowan Pennick. Pettick, some say this has an advantage. He's just come off a victory in the SK Modified, so he's already got what we'll call it a dress rehearsal time on the racetrack. He's looking very strong tonight. Oh, look at Jimmy Blewett. Blewett just tried to test the waters down underneath Goodale. It didn't work, Matt.
And you never can take your eye off Jimmy Blewett because he is capable of making a move at any moment. That time he tried to Jenny Craig's way underneath Goodale and came up empty. Pitcat is in a good position right behind him. You got to give Donnie Lee a credit for keeping Kobe honest here in the early going. But Roland Pettick in the shadow, now tapping the back bumper of the Pitcat of the Goodale car is Jimmy Blewett. Blewett getting a little rambunctious.
Melissa Feinfield's brand new race car is about to go down the lap from the leaders as they continue to dice and slice for the fourth spot. Here comes Jimmy Blewett. Bonsai move to the bottom. Woody Pitcat says if he can do it, so can I. And now Goodale is stuck in the outside lane. And right there's Woody Pitcat. Pitcat moves up to the top 5 now. Woody Pitcat setting in the 5th position. 6th is Goodale, 7th is Dowling, 8th position is Santos, 9th is Salamito, and 10th is Justin Monsignor.
And Eric Goodale lost 2 positions and a half a lap. That's what happens if you get stuck on the outside. And there are some lightning bolts underneath him. At the front of the field, pulling away are 3 drivers named Kobe, Leah, and Hennick. And some hard driving for the number 4 spot. And Jimmy Blewett has a little bit of relief as he pulls away from Woody Pitcat. A guy we are keeping an eye on is Jimmy Salamito, and he makes a blockbuster move against Santos, and he has taken Monsignor with him.
He certainly has. Monsignor came on very strong late in the Sizzler, and then all of a sudden, well, the car suddenly became evil. He lost a lot of very valuable ground. Let's see what's going to happen as he continues to make his presence known here. Salamito, it depends how you call it. Some said he was very aggressive, like a bull in a china closet, when it came to Sizzler weekend. Others said he was the guy to watch. Will he be the guy to watch tonight? He's all over Chase Dowling, and Dowling is all over Goodale. Here comes Chase Dowling. You wouldn't know that he's just a youngster. He's running very, very strong.
He waited for an opening to develop, and now he's taken it to the cash register. So a very lucrative move by Dowling, and the hole still opens for Jimmy Salamito. And I don't think there's any question that during the first 3 races, Salamito has been the most exciting competitor in the division.
He certainly has. And look at Monsignor. He's glued to the back bumper of Salamito. Wherever Salamito goes, Monsignor seems to follow. And just as impressive as Santos with that number 44 car. Back up front, leader is still Doug Colby. Donnie Leah is still in 2nd. 3rd position still held down by Rowan Pettick. 4th spot is Jimmy Blewett, and 5th is Woody Pitcat. Just out of the top 5. In 6th is Dowling, 7th is Salamito, 8th is Monsignor, 9th is Goodale, and currently running in the 10th spot is Bobby Santos. That's how they run 20 laps in for the TSI Harley-Davidson 125.
There is no easy chair in the cockpit of the new car as he was able to get around Melissa Fifield. And Donnie Lee might be making Kobe run a little harder than he wants to. And that could take an effect later on in the race. So Donnie Lee trying to get the most out of Doug Kobe and maybe make him use up a little more of that car than Kobe was planning on.
You know, it's very interesting when people talk about LMR chassis, Matt. They talk about Doug Kobe's car and how strong that car is. They also immediately give credit to Phil Moran as the chief of the car, and some even say it's a different car than all the other LMR cars. Well, tonight we're seeing the opposite of that because Donnie Lee is another LMR car, and he's running just as quick as Doug Kobe, the leader of the pack. Leaders coming up on lap traffic. Looks like the 24 will be the first of the cars that they come up on in this next pack.
Kraus makes it double file in front of Kobe. This could be hair raising as Kobe right now is nowhere to go. And here he goes around McDonald and now is torturing the back bumper of the Kraus car. So that wasn't an easy move to get by lap traffic. And Donnie Leah has been able to narrow the gap between he and Kobe.
He certainly has, and they continue to tighten it up just a bit. But Kobe is still the quickest car on the racetrack. Rowan Pettick still did 18.752, Matt. So now Leah gets bragging rights. He's now quicker than Colby, our leader.
And Lewitt has opened things up against Woody Pitcat. We haven't seen Woody in the top 5 very often this year in these early tour races, but he is holding on there now. Ron Silk trying to make something happen. As he is having a battle with Brendan Buck in car number 29. Remember, Ron Silk started pretty far back, but as Ben said, he is a very calculating driver. No one's more calculating than Downey, as he is able to whisk underneath Woody Pitcat.
And who is going to be there with him in his Salamito with the number 16 car. Woody Pitcat's car was so strong for a while, now all of a sudden it's starting to back up. Salamito's going forward, and Pitcat's car suddenly develops what Matt calls a caffeine twitch.
Yeah, he is backpedaling just a bit, and now has to worry about Justin Bonsignor behind him. Chase Dowling has made some aggressive moves tonight, so he is in 5th place, and he's really only improved his position by 2 spots, but he has looked very aggressive making those moves.
He certainly has, and all of a sudden we predicted it. We looked at timing and scoring, and the Bardol number 8 car seems to be getting quicker, and Doug Colby seems to, well, be maintaining his consistency to work to his advantage.
Now, we know Kobe has dominated Stafford over the last couple of years, but before that, Donnie Leah had a lot of success here. So this is one of Donnie Leah's favorite tracks.
It certainly is, as they continue to thunder back on turn number 4. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Ronnie Silk with that number 82 car, because you might not consider him a factor as yet, but remember what Joe Koss told us earlier. Joe Koss told us earlier that he felt confident that pitting might be a strategy for some. Who are the big movers and shakers in this event? The 60 machine of Salamito started in the 12th spot up to the 6th position, and starting in 13th was Bonsignor. He's up to the 7th spot. So there's a lot of different stories still left in this one. Let's get back to the front of the field, and Doug Colby's got clean air in front of him now. About the 6th distance separating the Chase Dowling machine. Oh, suddenly off the pace a bit down the back straightaway. The 24 car of Klaus. Oh, a tough go right from the start, and now his car is suddenly evil, and Ronnie Silk is trying to create some magic to get around him.
And the magic one works for Ron Silk as he is able to position his way around Kraus, who has definitely slowed down. Max Jacob got his first ever podium on the tour. Last time out in Waterford is at the rear of the field, and Doug Colby is starting to expand his lead again. And every time it looks like Doug Colby is going to take off, Donnie Leah is able to reel him in. So it has not been easy for Doug Colby.
It has not. It has not for Doug Colby. Last time by 19.108. How does that stack up? Donnie Leah 19.066. Rowan Pettick 19.131. Joe Koss has just told us that the 24 car seems to be having an engine problem in the car. It's been misfiring, and it is not up to speed. Joe Koss, I know you're checking with things on pit road. Can you tell us, do you think if we get a yellow, that the story is going to be pit road?
Well, it depends on where you are in the field. I would say if you're in the top 3 or 4, stay out if you're Jimmy Salamito or Justin Bonsignor. Then it becomes a bit of a question. You've got a car that's obviously fast. You'll gain some track position in the incidents of the caution. But whether or not you want to come down and keep that track position to get better tires, you have to win when you have the line speeds over there to be fast enough to gain that round and have to work through that. This is a tough race. It will typically go 185 laps in the early stages.
consistently in the last 5 laps, Donnie Leah has been, we'll call it, a hair quicker than Doug Colby. We wouldn't know it because it looks like now that Colby is starting to pull away from Leah. But that is not the case when you look at the times. Also, we've been noticing that Goodale has been dropping off the pace just a bit. That car has suddenly become evil. And Ronnie Silk is starting to move forward as Goodale's car is starting to slip further back in the field. Joe Koss has been down there on pit road. Oh, Joe, that time we saw Silk's car completely sideways. Have you had the chance to look at what Goodale's car is doing? It doesn't seem as strong as it was at the start.
Long to rack up the wins here in the modified division in Stafford. Leah is like going to Colby's shoe. He cannot get rid of it. He almost made a move there as Colby had some difficulty getting by Melissa Fifield, but he is able to handle that. Some drivers in the rear of the field who have never been able to make moves are guys like Max Zackham and Matt Swanson, Jamie Tomato in start number 601. They are still loitering at the rear of the field, and now Jamie Tomato is in danger of being lapped by Doug Colby as Colby is approaching the 99.
Another good battle that's going on is between the number 58 Goodale, Robbie Summers in the number 64 car, and the other Salamito machine, car number 75.
Robbie Summers almost got underneath Goodale. So Robbie Summers, that car might be coming to life.
Certainly appears that now the leaders are coming up on lap traffic, and that lap traffic could be a real problem because it's going to be pick and choose time. The next car in front of the leaders is Jamie Tomato. Directly in front of that car is Matt Swanson. Then it's the Max Zachin car and Dave Sapienza. We are 50 of 125 in the record books. This is the TSI Harley-Davidson 125. Once again, Salamito has enough giddy up to reel in on the back bumper of Chase Dowling. Take him off that turn, and he is there, Matt, but not enough to be able to make the move.
Boy, this is like going through the traffic that was on I-84 a couple of weeks ago. Matt Swanson gets underneath Zackham as he gave him a little forearm shiver a couple of laps ago, and Swanson making the pass. Woody Pitcat is struggling, and we'll find out why by going to Joe Koss.
Pitcat has is that he's got a real problem with the balance of the race car. I was watching him from the inside of turn number 1, and it may be difficult to see from this side of the racetrack. He's got the left rear brake roller and going right red getting down into the corner. He's using a lot of rear brake facilities, hardly doing some of the other cars on the racetrack. First and second, Donnie Leah, they don't have any blend of the move machines because we're running so smoothly. Other cars like Timmy Salamino or Justin Bonsanero, they come to the front row flowing bright red. Pitcat's got a lot of little brake dials into the car, and that just makes it loose. And it's only indicative of them not having the stuff exactly right.
You know, one of the interesting points with that race team, they're used to running on the modified racing series where the distance is 100 laps or less. They never run 150. They don't count on pit strategy. So for the owners and the crew of that race car, Joe, this is a whole different type of racing, and maybe we're seeing a sample of just that.
Woody Pitcat and his team are really showing a little bit of a struggle. And Pitcat's wins here last week in the SA Modified and the late model were really the bright spots. And that's why he was so enthusiastic after the race. Because they got struggled right in 635. Remember, 2 years ago, Woody Pitcat came here, and all of a sudden he went from a guy that was struggling to find wins in the Wheel Modified Tour to the mainstay, the guy that everybody expected to be able to win. Right now, he's still struggling to find
certainly does appear that way. If you just watch Donnie Leah make a move underneath Matt Swanson, a lapped automobile, looks like another car, Melissa Byfield's machine, off the pace to the bottom of the racetrack, out of harm's way there. As we continue to watch, now Doug Colby, Matt, he is coming up on the Dave Sapienza car, a car prepared by Tommy Glasso. Remember, he used to be the crew chief on the Eddie Partridge race cars.
And Kobe trying to take him on the outside, and he does very easily. And Donnie Leah is right there. Let's see how long it takes him to get by Sapienza. And Sapienza drifting up a little in between turns 1 and 2. And here comes Leah. Very steady as he is just sitting on the lap with Doug Kobe, waiting for Kobe to make a move. Then we have Rowan Pack, who's been in third the whole race. And what about Mr. Showtime, Jimmy Blewett? A lot of lap cars in between he and Panic. And Dowling, every time you look, it looks like Dowling is ready to make a serious move against Jimmy Blewett.
You know, we looked at the top 3 times, and Rowan Panic has turned the fastest lap on the last time by, a 19.121. The leader, Doug Colby, turned a 19.441. Now, we're going to set the field for you. Doug Colby is your leader, 61 laps in. Donnie Leah is second. Rowan Panic is third. Jimmy Blewett is fourth. Chase Dowling is fifth. Timmy Salamito is sixth. Justin Bonsignor is seventh. Bobby Santos is eighth. Brendan Block is ninth. And Woody Pitcat is in 10th. Where is Ronnie Silk? He's in the 11th spot and going forward.
And right now, Doug Kobe is trying to get by Craig Lutz in car number 56. And there he goes. And he is able to firecracker his way underneath Lutz. So Doug Kobe is having no difficulty at all getting his way through traffic. And this is hard to believe. He is ready to put Eric Goodale a lap down. As Eric Goodale, we thought he was going to have a great night judging by qualifying. But he is no longer on the lead lap.
He certainly is not. Of course, he would be eligible for the lucky dog if that comes into play. Colby really starts to string it out now, and Leah is trying to work the traffic to his advantage at this particular point. Leah comes up on a lap automobile, and that, of course, is the Eric Goodale car. And now we're seeing Rowan Penick as he continues to pick them off one lap at a time. Good racing wherever you look back through the field as well. But off the turn again, working their way back to the line is Colby. His next pick becomes Dave Sazzarillo with the number 33 machine.
And Sazzarillo has been around a long time, as I'm sure he will give Colby plenty of room. But it'll take him a while to get up there. And now he's after Rob Summers in car number 64. So once again, just like he did at the Spring Sizzler, this is a Colby clinic on how to get around and how to make your way through lap car.
It certainly is, and he continues to show that potential and that muscle each and every time by. There is nothing but clean air between Leah, your second place car number 8, and the lead car of Doug Colby. But in front of Doug Colby, it is heavy traffic up ahead. And from the inside of the racetrack, Joe Koss has the best view of all of that. What's it look like from the inside? Is Colby going to have a problem with these lap cars, Joe?
He's going to have that is later in the race because he is really up on the wheel trying to get through this lap traffic without having any problem. Again, I move back down to the inside of turn 1 where Colby now is trying to find the outside lane around the turn. That's a tough one to go around the Stafford speedway. And you can literally see Colby inside this race car. Hands moving back and forth, strategizing about how he's going to be able to get by this lap traffic. And he's putting a lot of wear on the tires in the progress.
He certainly is. And all of a sudden, Joe, we're noticing that Leah has moved in. He's almost within striking distance. That could be a costly move, Joe. It's right in front of you.
Has that lane to the inside, and that's what lap traffic can do to you.
Here comes Donnie Leah, first lead change of the event, off turn number 4. At the line, Donnie Leah takes over position number 1. They're side by side, Colby to the top side. Pit cars in front of them is Summers. Here comes Colby back to life. Doug Colby back in command. He'll take back the lead. Here comes Leah. Traffic ahead of the front pack of cars as they rumble back to the line. It is Silk just in front of our leaders. Leah trying to hold on the inside. Can't do it, and Colby is back in command.
And he is always in command. as he is able to solidify himself.
We've got Woody Pitcat going around.
Oh, and Summers nails him as Pitcat was pointed in the wrong direction, and he was bushwhacked by Rob Summers in car number 64. And he is on pit road, and he is bringing his buddies with him.
That's right. Pretty stout company. First car in is Colby. Then it's Leah. Then it's Rowan Pennick and the cast that follows. Let's go to Joe Koss. He's where the action is.
Action about set to get heated up here. This could be the moment that defines tonight's TSI Harley-Davidson 125. Everybody settling into their pit stall. The first car on this end of pit lane, Doug Colby. His car was just a little bit loose there on exit. They worked off of pit lane. Timmy Salamito has a little bit of trouble getting into his pit stall because Max Zackham parked short of his stop. So it tightened things up just a little bit. Left rear tire going out of Timmy Salamito's machine. Also putting the right rear on, and I'll correct something. It will be 3 tires stopped for all these machines. Right side service complete for Doug Colby. He is down and away. Easily wins the race off of pit lane. Good clean stop for Donnie Lee and Rowan Pennick. They exit exactly the way they came down pit road. And Timmy Salamito is going to pick up 2 spots on pit lane. He'll come out in the 4th spot to Darren Ayotte.
Guys, Jimmy Blewett and his crew are very upset. A beautiful stop. 3 tires with the right front and the 2 rears. Like clockwork down here, but Jimmy Blewett had to back up because the driver in front of him was pulled in the wrong way, almost into his pit stall. He had to back up. The crew members are very upset. They made no adjustments. I was speaking to their crew chief for Spalding. They love the car. The car is great. They're looking forward to this restart. Chase Dowling is away and serviced as well. 3 tires on that stop.
So it is very dramatic. It's Timmy Salamito. Remember, one of the reasons he won the icebreaker is because he made a great pit stop, and he makes another one tonight, so that Sly Sabin team is back on top of its game. You know, tailgating, weaving in and out of traffic, and speed.
Ronnie Silk, Matt, you call that.
So Ronnie Silk will have a chance to gain some position. I think there were 2 winners on that pit stop. Winner number 1, Timmy Salamito, picked up 2 spots. But winner number 2, and the big winner, Doug Colby.
Yep.
He was leading the race, went in, got 3 new tires, and he still is leading the race. So he has the lead, and he has new tires. So Doug Colby is in better shape than anyone else, and that has been the story for the first 80 laps. Will it be the final story for the next 45?
Let's see what's going to happen. We're about ready to fire them back up. Off turn number 4. Green flag is back out. And Doug Colby looks as good as he did on the start. Oh, look at Rowan Pennick. Pennick had second, short-lived. Oh, Jimmy Beluit's car got evil as Salamito moves into the top 4.
What a unique move by Donnie Leah. He went way high in turn number 1. Pennick got underneath him, but obviously Leah knew what he was doing as he slingshotted his way back into second.
No question he did that. Here comes Jimmy Beluit down underneath Salamito. That's the battle for the 4th spot. They are evenly matched. Then it's Santos and Chase Dowling. Top 3. Nose to tail. Then they're doubled up all the way back to the bottom of the top 10.
Well, I think Leah has a pretty good car as he gave a low tap to Colby in turn number 4 on the last lap. So Leah is very active. And here is Jimmy Blewett. Well, look at Bobby Santos making a run. Chase Dowling coming out of turn number 4, the 44. Couldn't get by Dowling, but he gave it everything he had.
Certainly can. They've been just trying to get used to that car. So, that time, Silk got into a little bit of a jingle there. Bach was right there with him. Then it's Bonsignor back up front. Rowan Pennick is the quickest of the top 3 cars now. 85 of 125 in this TSI Harley-Davidson event.
But I think you saw what kind of driver Ron Silk was as he looked like a hula dancer. The car started to bob and weave on him, and he was able to instantly correct it, and he still is 1 notch ahead of Brendan Bach. It is Colby, and he knows that Leah has the capability of challenging him down the stretch. Rowan Pennick finished 3rd the last time the tour was here at the Spring Sizzler. He said it was an honor for him to take that bowler car onto the podium in Stafford. He is looking for the same honor again tonight.
Certainly is. That's a homemade built race car, too. It's not a store-bought special. And the Boulder family have always found the magic when it comes to running here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Joe Koss has been down on pit road. He's been looking and talking with the team. Any surprises, Joe? Are they pleased with what they saw on the the race car, or is there, well, a little bit of surprise to some?
Champion here in the SK Modified Division, and so he's certainly done a lot of laps around here, but that three car is a little bit different this year because Rowan Pennick had shown his operation at the end of last year. They had some extra components, so one of the things that they added to the old blue car was a spec engine, something they never had before. He says that that's one of the things that has contributed to their success this year and why they've been so quick. They're looking for a steering issue at Waterford last time out. You can count every single race so far this season, the last three cars, with Rowan Pennick behind the wheel.
As Joe was talking about the 3 car, we was watching. Salamito reeled in on the 3, and the 3 is right there on Leah, and they almost came together at one point.
Yes, Salamito is really being aggressive, and it's been a great battle deeper between Ron Silk in the 82 and Brendan Bach. Bach got into that back bumper a couple of times, including right then. So a little Ringo Starr action administered by Bach. Timmy Salamito, we said he was exciting. Has he saved anything for the final half of the race against Rowan Pennick? It looks like Salamito is a contender.
It certainly is. Remember back on Sizzler weekend, man, we saw Salamito come from the back on a couple of occasions, and he is just as strong and aggressive here tonight. The car suddenly develops an evil twitch off turn number 4, but that doesn't stop anything. Salamito's driving by the seat of his pants, man, and it's showing. He's not done yet. 93 of 125 in the TSI Harley-Davidson events.
You know, Salamito is one of those guys who does not need a perfect car in order to have success. As we have seen him bounce it off the walls, bounce it off the grass, and he never backs down. So we'll see if he can...
Rowan Pennick's car suddenly also developed the same type of a problem, and Salamito is trying to reel him back in.
I think he had Salamito-itis.
Certainly does, and now all of a sudden, Santos and Ronnie Silk and Bach, they've got a 3-car Donnybrook going on there, man. That is at the bottom of the top 10. But for Doug Colby, with 95 laps in, the deuce is wild at the front of the field. The 8 car still runs in second. Third is still Rowan Pennick. Fourth position is Salamito. And then there's the battle between Jimmy Blewett and Chase Dowling. And that is the battle for the 5th spot. And let's go down on pit road. Darren Ayotte has a report on Santos in the black number 44.
Yeah, guys, I've been keeping an eye on that black number 44 this entire race. I spoke with his crew chief earlier, right before the race, Steve LeMay, and he was talking about a lot of confidence that they have in this 44 team. Bobby Santos has not said a word on the radio the entire race, really just been dialed in, trying to rebound, have a solid finish. Remember, it's not been the results that they'd like to see in this 44 car, but as of now, you've seen he's sort of dropped back since the restart, not really able to get the handling correct on that race car. He's a little free, and it seems to improve as he burns a little bit of fuel. That's likely why we saw him improve a little bit before the end of that long green flag run. We'll see if the run continues. That 44 car can get back up to the front.
Brendan Bach making a move out Silk, and he was able to get by.
He did it, and he made it look so easy, man, as he took it in at a ton to the bottom of turn number 3. Back up front, lead back of cars coming up on Sazarillo is the, no, that is, yes, the 33 machine of Wade Cole, and the number 26 car is the next car directly in line of a front back of cars. We are now at lap 100. 25 laps remaining. If anybody's been saving anything, it's about to show now in the final 25 circuits as the leader still remains Doug Colby. Second is still Doniglia. Third is Rowan Pennick. Fourth position is Salamito. Fifth position is Balloon. Sixth position is Dowling. Seventh spot is Santos. Eighth spot is Bach. Ninth spot is Silk. And Monsignor has now moved into the top 10.
Well, Chase Dowling is going to try it again against Blewett as he harasses the back bumper of that number 4 car, and he just doesn't have enough strength to get by. Colby, once again, that car isn't even working up a sweat yet, and he has a pretty sturdy lead over Donnie Leah by about a utility pole. And Salamito has done everything he knows how to do to try to get by Pennick, and that's not happening. And a little farther back, look at that orange number 82. I think he might want to pay Brendan Bach back. for the move that Bach just made against him.
looks
We'll
like-
see if Ronnie can do it.
It looks like a Long Island shuffle at its absolute best because Monsignor has continued to close up the gap and move in there as well. Off the fourth turn now, Salamito looks to go high, then he looks to go low, but it still remains a three-car battle for the second spot. And again, Salamito can't find enough giddy-up to get the job done to get around Rowan Pennick. We are 104 of 125 in this TSI Harley-Davidson event.
And Donnie Leah has been fast enough to hang on to second, but not really fast enough to challenge Kobe for the lead following the pit stop. Salamito is going to try to torpedo his way again underneath Pennick, and he has tried that maneuver for a while. It has been coming up empty. Blewett has opened up a little bit of breathing room between himself and Dowling. So Dowling was right there about 5 laps ago, and Blewett has been able to pull away. And here is an underrated guy as far as tire management is concerned. Jimmy Blewett is usually pretty good at saving tires.
You know, it's hard to believe, too, Matt, because when you watch Blewett on the racetrack, he is definitely up on the wheel lap after lap, so you'd think he would be tough on tires, but that has never been the case for the driver of car number 4 as Jimmy Blewett continues to try to work his magic. And Blewett is moving in on Salamito and Rowan Pennick. That's the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th position. So I think you're right, Matt. I think Jimmy Blewett was saving a little bit of that race car, and now he realized it's the time to go. Let's check back in with Joe Koss down on pit road. Joe, what's the strategy now? Is it every man for themselves, flat out racing to the checker? Are we in that, well, the sweet spot of this event?
Well, at this point, it has a lot to do with Donnie Lewis just trying to find every little last minute that he can. They were holding back just a little bit. Remember, on the long run of that first green flag stint, Donnie Leo was better on the longer run than Lewis. The difference on this one, though, is
Is out. Looks like Matt Swanson.
the guys behind you that are pretty quick. Are you going to be in position to hold on to that second before the checkered flag falls?
I think we can hold our own and hopefully pull away from those guys. It's hard to start on the outside here, though.
We'll see what happens. It's a word from Donnie Barker as we get set to settle this one here tonight.
You know, the only car on the lead lap that pitted this time was the 44 of Santos. He is back out, and you see where he is on this restart order. If you're a gambling person, well, place your bets now or step back from the table. Well, in this high-stakes race, nobody's stepping back from the table. Matt Buckler, this is what it's all about. Coming down to the wire, 10 circuits to go, 5 miles, and we're back up to speed.
And flawless. Don Barker was right. That is a way to describe Kobe's restart. Leah in jeopardy. 3 wide. In the middle is Pennick. He goes to the wall, hitting the wall with Salamito.
Salamito was on the outside in the 3-car battle for the 3rd position. And Salamito hits the wall at a ton. You look underneath the laser 99.3, and you can see.
Yeah, but instead of an exclamation point or a period, it's made an INC. Incomplete for Salamito, so he will watch as Kobe tries to get the best of Leah on this double file restart. And the second row, very interesting, with Pennick and Blewett. And then Chase Dowling. He has been about in 5th or 6th place the entire race. Do you think he is ready for a big move?
Yep, a good run also for Brendan Block. He's been there. And Ronnie Silk, Matt, you called it right from the start. He hasn't really been out of the top 10 at all tonight.
No, that Danny Watts partnership has been a good one. But now, this restart could decide the race.
120 up on the board. There is the green. Kobe steps on the throttle. Athletes for the 3rd spot. Oh! Rowan Pennick. What a job by Rowan Pennick. Gathers it back. They're scrambling. Off the turn, hard to believe. Chase Dowling suffers the worst of the wear. We're still under green as car number 9, Chase Dowling, is stranded on the top side of the racetrack.
And he is going to stop. Brendan Bach 4th, Bobby Santos, he hasn't really had a powerful night,
No.
but he has been consistent enough to hang inside the top 10. And if you can do that, you might be able to extract a pretty good finish at the end. And that is exactly what Bobby Santos has done.
Well, it is time to show your stuff for the final times in this event. Here they come. Off turn number 4. Making some noise. And Kobe has a little more giddy up. But Donnie Lee is digging in hard. Here comes Jimmy Blewett. Look at Buck. He gives a shot to the back bumper of Donnie Leah, and that gives Jimmy Blewett second, Matt.
Bach helped Blewett get into second. Can he track down Kobe? 1 to go. Kobe beats everybody into the second quarter. It is up to Jimmy Blewett to try to corral the 2-car.
And meanwhile, Santos moves into the 4 spot. Ladies and gentlemen, down into turn number 3. Here they come, rumbling back to the line. The TSI Harley-Davidson 125 will go to Doug Kobe, action off turn 4. But the record